Hello my dear friend. Today I am excited to share a special story with you. It's a love story. Maya stood at the edge of the pier, looking at the waves. The cool wind touched her face gently, but her heart was heavy. She held a small suitcase, her only belonging. Clearwater, the little town she had lived in all her life, didn't feel like home anymore. Her mother's death had left her lonely, and now she wanted to leave everything behind. "Are you leaving forever?" a voice suddenly broke her thoughts. Startled, Maya turned to see a tall man standing a few feet away. The sunlight behind him made it hard to see his face clearly, but his voice had warmth in it. "Do I know you?" Maya asked. "Not yet," he replied with a small smile. "But you are blocking the line." Maya quickly looked back and saw a few people waiting to board the ferry. Embarrassed, she moved aside, dragging her suitcase with her. The man smiled and walked ahead with only a small backpack on his shoulder. Once on the ferry, Maya sat near the railing, staring at the endless water. But she couldn't help noticing the man again. He sat nearby, calm and confident, watching the horizon. When he caught her looking, she quickly turned away, pretending to focus on the waves. "You don't seem like you want to be here," the man said, walking over and sitting beside her. Maya hesitated but replied, "I don't know where else to go." He nodded thoughtfully. "Sometimes not knowing is okay. It means you are open to anything." "I'm Maya," she said softly. "Aden," he replied with a kind smile. The ferry reached a small, lively town by the coast. Maya had no plan, no destination, and no idea what to do next. Aden, however, seemed to know the town well. "There's a nice inn not far from here. You should check it out," he suggested. Something about him made Maya feel safe, so she agreed. They both ended up staying at the same inn, a cozy place with small rooms and a garden filled with flowers. Over the next few days, Aden showed Maya around the town. He took her to a hidden beach where the sunrise was breathtaking. They visited a little cafe that served delicious lemon tarts. He even introduced her to a small bookstore where the owner, an elderly man, always offered tea to visitors. Maya felt a strange sense of comfort in this new place. For the first time in months, she wasn't thinking about her grief. Instead, she was laughing at Aden's jokes and enjoying the small adventures they shared. "You are different, Maya," Aden said one evening as they sat by the beach. "You have this quiet strength. You just don't see it yet." Maya looked down. "I don't feel strong. I feel lost." Aden shook his head. "Being lost is okay. It means you are still searching, still trying. That's strength too." One evening, Aden seemed unusually quiet. They were sitting on a bench overlooking the sea, the sky painted in shades of orange and pink. "I want to tell you something," Aden said, breaking the silence. Maya looked at him, curious. "What is it?" "I wasn't always like this," he began, his voice softer than usual. "I used to have a normal life. A few years ago, I was in love. Her name was Emily. She was everything to me." "What happened?" Maya asked gently. "She got sick," he said, his eyes fixed on the horizon. "Cancer. We tried everything, but she didn't make it." Maya's heart ached for him. "I'm so sorry, then." He nodded. "After she was gone, I couldn't stay in one place. Everywhere I went reminded me of her. So I started traveling. I thought maybe, somewhere, I'd find a new beginning. And have you? Maya asked. Adin turned to her, a faint smile on his face. Maybe I have. Meeting you feels like. I don't know, like something good. Maya didn't know how to respond. She felt a strange mix of emotions, sadness for his loss, and a warmth she couldn't explain. Adin began encouraging Maya to step out of her comfort zone. He pushed her to try new things and believe in herself. One day, they walked past a small cafe hosting an open mic night. You should sing, Adin said suddenly. What? No way. Maya replied, shaking her head. Why not? He asked. You told me you used to sing with your mom. You have a beautiful voice. That was a long time ago, Maya said, feeling nervous. So what? Adin said with a grin. Your voice didn't go anywhere. With Adin's support, Maya found herself standing on the small stage that night, microphone in hand. Her heart pounded as she looked at the crowd, but when she started singing, the fear melted away. She felt free, like she was finding a piece of herself she thought she had lost. When she finished, the audience clapped, and Adin stood up, cheering louder than anyone else. Maya couldn't stop smiling. As days turned into weeks, Maya realized how much Adin had changed her life. He had shown her a world beyond her grief and helped her find confidence she didn't know she had. And in return, she had given him something too, a reason to believe in love again. But Maya also knew she couldn't rely on Adin forever. She needed to find her own path. I think I'm ready to go back, she told him one morning. Back to Clearwater, he asked. She nodded. I need to face my past and rebuild my life there. But I'm not afraid anymore. Adin smiled, though there was a hint of sadness in his eyes. I'll miss you, Maya. But I'm proud of you. Maya felt a lump in her throat. I'll miss you too, Adin. As she boarded the ferry back to Clearwater, she looked back at him standing on the pier, waving. She knew their paths might never cross again, but she also knew she would carry him in her heart forever. Months later, Maya stood in her mother's flower shop, now reopened and thriving. She had turned the once quiet shop into a lively space filled with music and laughter. One day, as she was arranging flowers, a familiar voice behind her said, "Got any lemon tarts here?" She turned around, her heart skipping a beat. There he was, Adin, with the same lopsided grin and a backpack slung over his shoulder. You found me, she said, tears in her eyes. I told you, he replied. I'm not good at staying in one place. But for you, I'll try. And in that moment, Maya knew that some people are meant to find each other, no matter how far they go. Maya stood frozen in her flower shop, staring at Adin. His words echoed in her ears, for you, I'll try. Tears welled up in her eyes as she moved toward him. I can't believe you are here, she whispered, her voice trembling. Adin dropped his backpack and pulled her into a hug. I told you, Maya. Some things are worth coming back for. They spent hours talking that evening, catching up on everything that had happened since they last saw each other. Adin shared stories of the places he had visited, the people he had met, and how he had always thought of her. Maya told him how she had rebuilt her life in Clearwater, reopening her mother's shop and finding peace in her memories. I didn't think I'd see you again, Maya admitted, her voice soft. I didn't think I'd come back, Aden replied, a hint of a smile on his face. But then I realized, wherever I went, I was looking for you. Over the next few months, Aden became a part of Maya's life in Clearwater. He helped her in the flower shop, learning how to arrange bouquets and charm customers with his easygoing personality. The townspeople, initially wary of the mysterious stranger, soon grew to like him. Maya and Aden's bond deepened as they spent their days working together and their evenings talking about dreams, fears, and everything in between. One night, while sitting by the pier, Maya asked, "Do you ever miss traveling? The freedom?" Aden looked at her thoughtfully. "I do, sometimes. But being here with you feels different. It's not about where I am anymore, it's about who I'm with." Maya smiled, her heart swelling with emotion. For the first time, she felt like she wasn't alone. But love, no matter how strong, isn't without challenges. Aden's restless nature began to resurface. While Maya found comfort in her routine, Aden sometimes felt confined. One day, he suggested they take a short trip together, just to explore nearby towns. Maya hesitated. "I can't leave the shop, Aden. It's just starting to do well. I have responsibilities here." "I understand," Aden said, though a shadow crossed his face. As weeks passed, small tensions began to arise. Aden missed the thrill of adventure, while Maya struggled to balance her growing feelings for him with her commitment to the life she had built in Clearwater. One evening, after a particularly quiet dinner, Aden finally spoke up. "Maya, are you happy?" She looked at him, startled. "Of course I am. I've been thinking," he said, "what if we find a way to combine both our worlds? We can keep the shop, but maybe we take a week or two every few months to travel. Just short trips, together." Maya considered his words. The idea scared her, leaving the security of her shop, her home, but the thought of losing Aden scared her even more. "Okay," she said finally. "Let's try it." Their first trip was to a nearby mountain town. For Aden, it felt like a return to his adventurous roots. For Maya, it was a chance to step out of her comfort zone. They hiked through dense forests, explored quaint markets, and spent nights under the stars, talking about everything and nothing. Maya found herself feeling freer than she ever had before. And when they returned to Clearwater, she realized something important. Aden had helped her grow, just as she had helped him heal. Months turned into years. Maya and Aden found a balance between their lives. They spent most of their time in Clearwater, running the flower shop together. But every few months, they packed their bags and set off on new adventures, exploring new places and making memories. Their love wasn't perfect, it had its ups and downs, moments of doubt and struggle. But through it all, they held on to each other, knowing that their connection was worth fighting for. One evening, as they sat on the same pier where they had first met, Aden took Maya's hand. "You know," he said, "I used to think that happiness was about finding the perfect place. But now I know it's about finding the perfect person." Maya smiled, tears shining in her eyes. "And I used to think I was lost. But now I know I was just waiting to find you." As the sun dipped below the horizon, they sat together, their hearts full, knowing that no matter where life took them, they had found their home in each other.